What up, guys? Mad Scientist 7890 here. This is going to be my video on why I think Eddie Edwards versus Chris Hero from Revolution Canada was better than Eddie Edwards versus Davey Richards at Best in the World. Now, the first thing I'm going to get into here is the Davey Richards Eddie Edwards match, because I saw that match first. From those of you who know that have been following my videos, I went to the Collinsville show here in St. Louis and picked up some Ring of Honor shows, and one of the shows I picked up was the Revolution Canada show, and I watched it here recently and absolutely loved the Hero versus Edwards match, and it's definitely my Ring of Honor match of the year, and I'll get into that. But I wanted to get into why I think it's better than Davey Richards versus Eddie Edwards at Best in the World. Now, you know, I find it interesting because because those of you who've been watching Ring of Honor for a long time know that the in-ring style has kind of evolved, kind of developed into something different. You know, some people are calling it the Davey Richards style. How it's just, a lot of just it's real unstructured. The main event matches, a lot of them are real unstructured. They kind of just have, a lot of big spots and at the end, and have a really long sprint and just unbelievability and no selling. A lot of Davey Richards matches are like that. For the last 2 years, no matter who Davey Richards is in the ring with, he has a great, exciting wrestling match. But it's not really telling much of a story. It's more of just a, exhibition. It's not really a, high quality, storytelling type match. And it was no different here with Edwards versus Richards at Best in the World. It was just actually the best exhibition unstructured match of the year. I mean, that's just the way it is. And there's a place and a time for that, and there's a lot of great matches. But Davey Richards is a guy who a lot of his matches, main event matches, are exactly the same. They are structured exactly the same. And the best example I can really give you guys to how I feel like Davey Richards is as a wrestler is, I'm a big movie buff, okay? And he reminds me of Denzel Washington. How Denzel Washington is an amazing actor. He's a great actor. But a lot of movies he acts in, he does a great job, but the acting is exactly the same. He plays that hard ass in every movie. Even if he's a bad guy or good guy, he plays that hard ass. That's how Davey Richards matches are. No matter who he's in the ring with, they're structured exactly the same, to the point where they're always the same. I've been there, done that, seen that. Basically, what it is. To where the main event, the main events that he's in, the matches, the stuff that happens just doesn't make any sense. Selling is not there, all the time. Spots don't make sense. The work over period, on a lot of his matches where if he works over a body part, if he ever does, he doesn't finish the match with that that move, or he does a bunch of big spots and then he finishes a match with a submission where he didn't work over a body part at all. I find it interesting. I've been watching and kind of not really taking but adapting kind of a style of mixing with my own style of AMCM1. The way he reviews matches is interesting. It's unlike a lot of different people, and I find his opinion interesting to the point where it's completely what I would not do. So I find it interesting to the point where I want to watch it. He gave Davey versus Eddie a low grade, a star rating because of how unstructured the match was. How it didn't add up, it didn't make sense, and all that. But I'm not going to discount how much effort and work they put into it, how much I enjoyed the actual match, but in the end, it didn't really tell a story for me. So that leads me to Hero versus Edwards. Watch this match after I'd seen Davey versus Eddie, and I feel like Chris Hero is one of those guys who can go out there and have a different match every time he wrestles. He's that kind of guy where he's a striker, he's a submission guy, he's he can power guy, he can fly, he can do this, he can do that. Quite possibly the best wrestler in the world right now. In the last couple months hasn't been doing a lot, to my knowledge, but what he's done this year is just high quality matchups, and the stuff that he does makes a lot of sense to me. With this match here, everything that happened, the arm work by Hero, the selling by Edwards was great, made a lot of sense. The interference, the heel face dynamic is I really enjoy the heel face dynamic of wrestling matches. Like I said, there's a time and a place for exhibition matches where you guys are, both faces, they're trying to one up each other. I think wrestling matches are better when you have that heel face dynamic and when you're telling a story. Anybody can get in there and just have be athletic and just have great athletic wrestling matches. But not everyone can tell a story in the ring and captivate you. I feel like this match captivated me, kept me interested pretty much the whole time. There wasn't a sore spot in this match at all. Leading up, the spots were good. They made sense. Like I said, the arm work by Hero was good. The selling, the back and forth at the end, it wasn't overbearing. The way it ended, I liked the way it ended. The crowd was into it the majority of the time. It wasn't anticlimactic. It ended right when it was supposed to end, and it didn't have a big explosive power type ending. But I think that's how this match should have ended. With the way it ended with the Achilles lock and then just the repeated kicks to Hero's head until he passed out or knocked out or whatever it was. I liked the way that ended. Now a lot of people give grief on interferences and shenanigans. I think the shenanigans in this match helped it. I really think it worked to its advantage and really, to me, added something that hadn't been seen in a while. Like I said, a lot of Ring of Honor matches nowadays are that Davey Richards style, that based style where, you're going into knowing exactly what you're going to get. You're not surprised. You know exactly the match you're going to get. This match was unpredictable. You had a feeling of Hero might actually win here. A lot of people were, say, oh, okay, Edwards just won. Hero's definitely not going to win. But you really got the feeling that it was, and the storytelling was there. There's a lot of matches, like I said, that are exhibition type matches that are good matches, but they don't have a story and they don't, explain what's going on in the ring, and they don't make sense, and keep me entertained the whole time. It was entertaining. Davey Richards and Edwards, it was entertaining the whole time. But a lot of stuff they were doing, a lot of it didn't make sense. They were just doing spots to each other and kicking each other in the face a whole bunch. And, it was, like I said, I think it was probably the best unstructured spot match of the year. And, it still gets high praise for me because the effort that they put in here, Davey Richards winning, I think that's an important thing. But, the way that Hero vs. Edwards went down, it really had a, 2006, 2007 type Ring of Honor feel to it, where the matches were unpredictable, and you had guys like Danielson and Nigel in there, and Aries and Strong doing different things in the main event, and mixing it up, Joe and those guys. So I mean, it really had that feeling. I would even go as far as to say it had like a late 90s WWF feel to it. I really felt like it did. The spots were great. The interference made sense. I enjoyed it. Captivated me the whole time. I wasn't bored once. I know a lot of people, probably not going to give it as high as me. But, I hope you listen, whoever is a fan of, Ring of Honor, listens to this video and it really goes back and watches both matches and understands exactly what I'm saying. And if there's a match out there, Ring of Honor match out there, that the storytelling and the feel of it was better, than this. If you've seen both these matches, let me know. I'll try to check it out. I haven't seen a lot of the, all of the Ring of Honor shows this year. So just let me know what you guys think of this. This is my opinion. I got Hero versus Edwards as my Ring of Honor match of the year right now, over Eddie versus Davey, just because of that reason. It may not have been longer. It may not have been as epic as an ending, but I think it all made sense, and the story was told in the match, and there, that's the one thing I look for, because, nowadays in wrestling, you can go look at that PWG, you can go look at the, Ring of Honor, and you can watch those matches that are just good athletic wrestling matches, and a lot of them don't tell an amazing story in the ring. They're just, they're just wrestling matches, you know, that are just exhibitions, and they're not, you know, structured. They don't make sense to a storyline. The storytelling in this Hero vs. Edwards match is really what hooked me and, you know, made me a fan of this match. And I have it as my, like I said, my Ring of Honor match of the year right now. So leave some comments in the description, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this. Just been thinking about it for a while. Like I said, I'm almost guaranteed that nobody has it as high as I do. I have it 4 3/4 stars. You know, up there with Davey and Eddie, which is I gave 4 3/4 stars as well. You know, but you know, I just feel like it was better in the storytelling aspect. So like I said, I'm the Mad Scientist 7890, guys, and peace out.